Letty from Pure Evil MMA, frontproofmedia.com, and I got our next guest of the night for Pure Evil MMA, Johnnie Roades, who's going to be fighting coming up very soon. Johnny, what's going on, brother? How have you been?
I'm doing pretty good, just cutting a few final pounds, that's always the hard part.
Yeah, of course. And we spoke not too long ago, man, and I know that you got a little kid, and we are just getting past the holidays. What you do for Christmas and New Year's, just to get everybody up to date with what Johnnie Roades been up to?
Actually, really all I've been doing is just training for real. I mean, I knew I had a fight coming up, so I really didn't eat like pig out or anything on food.
Yeah.
Kind of watch what I ate, and then it's just training. That's all I've been doing is just training for real.
Well,
Holidays were good.
well, man, I know that you got a girl. I got a girl, and my girlfriend has like a basket of snacks under the in the living room and under the sofa. It's so hard not to freak out when you see them eating potato chips, and especially around the holidays, man. I give you all of you guys so much credit for having to hold out, which brings me to my next question. Like after the fight, every fighter has a guilty pleasure. What do you like to do afterwards? What's your favorite food to eat, or do you have like a tradition or anything like that after a big fight?
I mean, I really don't have a tradition, but after a fight, I like to just, I don't know, pig out on greasy food that I don't normally eat.
Yeah. Well, you're
And
down there in Kansas City, right?
yeah, I'm in Kansas City now. Yeah.
So what's it like in Kansas?
Uh, it's all right. I mean, it's kind of cold right now. I guess we're supposed to have like an ice storm or something like that,
Yeah, it's
but
it's
got
pretty
me
brutal over
training
here as well.
going on right now though.
So you're back in fourth between Kansas City, and you have another place, right? Where you live as well, or do you like go out and train at other gyms?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Kansas City, Missouri, but I go out and train at other gyms. I just got back from Canada
That's right.
training with the
That's right.
adrenaline.
That's right. You
Say
were
that
just
again?
telling me about that you were out in Canada. Can you get everybody up to date on what it was like out in Canada? I mean, I've never been, and I know I got listeners from Brazil, Jamaica, and they all want to hear about it. What was Canada like, especially around this time of year?
It was pretty cool. I mean, everybody was pretty friendly. It was actually very cold. Um, and there was a lot of snow. Just seems like it would just like kept snowing. It'll stop, and then like a few hours later, it starts snowing again. And then it was like a break every now and again. But it was still nice. I mean, training down there was awesome. You know, those guys were super friendly. Taught me a lot, showed me a lot of stuff. Showed me what my weaknesses was, showed me what I was really good at, and they just took me in like I was one of their guys.
So who were you training with out in Canada?
Um, I was training with a guy named Cunningham, and I was also training with a guy named Chris Clements from UFC. I was training with Chris Hordecki. He's fought. He's one of those top guys. He's actually fought one of my idols, which was Cowboy Cerrone, which I did not know that until I like went down and was talking to him, and then I kind of like looked him up a little bit, and then there was a lot of other guys I was training with. I apologize to them because I don't remember their names, but they're awesome guys. Adrenaline was like top notch. They know what they're all about. They're pretty good. They had me, man. If I could be down there all the time, I would.
Well, you got an upcoming fight, and I like to ask all the fighters this: Are you big on watching your opponent's videos, past fights, or even like his Instagrams? Do you like stalk on any of them, or how do you go about this? Like when you find out, all right, I got this fight coming up. What goes through your head, and how do you plan it all out?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's like it's kind of difficult for me because when I do like start watching people's films, my opponent had changed. So I mean, I done been in a lot of fights where my opponent changed like three, four, 5 times, and then some cards I don't fight on at all because they couldn't find anybody to replace them. So now it's like either I might look at like a few fights of theirs and keep it at that, or I might not at all. But I train as if I'm fighting someone greater than me. So that's just how I do it now.
So once I told everybody that you were coming back on the show, I got a bunch of questions for you from the Pure Evil Army, the Pure Evil family out there. What's up with the red mohawk? Is that something that you picked up from Peter Pan? Like what was that? Rufio?
No, dude. I've uh I've had this mohawk ever since I started MMA for real. I mean, it's something I always wanted to do was a bright red mohawk, and I kind of stand it out. But at first, I've actually had a not a pink, but a blue fro, and everybody kept calling me Papa Smurf, and so I had to cut it off.
That's a good enough reason to get it cut. You don't want to be the fighter known as Papa Smurf.
Right?
But listen, man, if it has any inspiration to do with Peter Pan and Neverland, I'm all about that. We got a lot of listeners that like using the hashtag Neverland and all about that shit. So what inspired it? I mean, I know that you shaved your hair when it was blue, but what inspired the red mohawk?
Um, I don't know, man. It just kind of fit, and the red kind of just popped out. Plus, on top of that, I was like back in my day, I was like a diehard skateboarder
All that.
and rocker, so it just fits me perfectly. Like it fits my attitude.
What got you into skateboarding? That's like you're my age, and that was a huge thing when I was growing up here in the city, skateboarding. And fortunately, I can't do it anymore. But it looks like when I was going through some of your pictures, you were getting a lot of air in a lot of those photos, man. Where'd you pick that up from? And you still skate, or your coaches kind of freak out about that, especially when you have a
Um,
fight coming up?
I still skate a little bit. I mean, I try not to skate too much because I don't want to risk hurting myself, and
Yeah.
like, I'd rather get hurt in the cage and not hurt on the board, and then be like, well, I can't fight because I was trying to do this 50-50 board slide, and transition to this other one, and I kind of slipped up and messed up. So I don't want to use that as an excuse. I rather like, yeah, I got to a fight, kind of pop my ankle.
So I see that you got a little one, man, and that changes a lot of things, especially when you're getting up there as a fighter. You're a professional. I mean, every fight is serious because you got to make that paycheck. You got all these like a lot of people don't realize it. Um, you know, Fighters got to pay for their gyms, and they got to go out there and find their sponsors and sell tickets. Sometimes it's a tough life, man. How did having a kid light a fire under your butt? I saw that you put together a nice win streak in 2015. What changes did you make, and was having a kid a big part of that?
Um, yeah, it was. My little boy is my inspiration for a lot of stuff. I love him to death. He's actually one of the reasons I did go pro, because if I wanted to keep doing MMA and fighting, like I either had to quit and start working like really hard at other stuff, or
Yeah.
just kind of keep working and fight as a pro and make money that way to help support. But yeah, man, it gets hard sometimes, because sometimes you're not with them all the time, and you're cutting weights and like can't do certain stuff, and you have to be training. I mean, it's a rough life. I mean, a fighter's life is kind of a lonely life.
And
So,
even fighters in the UFC, like a lot of people that watch the sport, they don't realize it. Like they don't make that much money. It's a tough life for local scenes and stuff like that. And even in the UFC, like it's not the glamorous life that it's brought up to be. But some fighters do luck out and get those big paychecks sometimes. What are you planning on doing in this upcoming year to make your big splash? You're a professional. You got a big fight coming up for a really an amazing company like Shamrock FC, Titan FC. All these young brands had a huge year in 2016, and I bet it's going to double in 2017, especially with UFC Fight Pass. What are you doing to make sure you're sealing your name in 2017 as we crack the new calendars open?
um, I'm not holding back no more. I'm full out. I'm giving my all or nothing. No remorse, no regrets. I'm out for blood. When I step in that cage, I'm walking into hell, and whoever's locking that door behind me, they're in the hell with me. So they're gonna feel what I feel. They're gonna bleed like I bleed. So it's all or nothing. and that's my mind frame every time before my fights now.
Well, I know that you had your last fight in September, and you must have made a couple of changes to your game. Can you let us in on what you kind of tweaked out with your game that we can all expect to see when we tune in to watch you?
Um, I've been very aggressive, but I've also been very smart on how I fight. Um, just watch out for fireworks and some really awesome stuff, man. Anything will happen. I might end up suplexing somebody. Somebody might catch a flying elbow, a flying knee. Just, you never know. I might get caught in the triangle choke and end up picking up the dude and just slamming the crap out of him.
So, are you trying to
So,
get your kid into all of this? Like, I gotta ask the question. I mean, some people allow their infants to watch fighting. I was big on it when I was growing up, but if my dad was a fighter, I'd be 10 times more about it. Does your child know what you do, and if so, or what not? Do you allow them to watch fighting, or when will you allow them to watch fighting? Triple part question.
um, I don't know. I mean, I kind of he doesn't go to any fights with me, but he does watch my fights on like YouTube.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think he's still kind of young to not fully understand that what I do, but he knows this Dada on the phone fighting. And he does come with me to the gym sometimes. And he actually, I mean, I don't like I show him a little bit, but I don't show him a lot because I'm like teaching other guys and training myself. So he like kind of picks up on everything. He does like one twos, like threes,
Awesome.
uppercuts, and he'll do like front kicks, side kicks. He does like doing sprawls. He tries to do push-ups. He tries to do
What?
pull-ups.
That is great. Do you
Yeah.
film any of
And
this? Do you have like an
huh?
Instagram where do you film any of this? Do you have like videos of this? Because that's awesome.
I think I have some on Facebook. I have to look.
Well, what's your Facebook really quick while we're on that subject for everybody to if they're watching right now, they can go look your Facebook up really quick or Instagram or Twitter. Where are you at on social media?
Yeah, my Facebook is same as my Instagram. It's Johnnie Ray Roades Jr. JohnnyRayRoades Jr. Jr.
So do you think you're gonna let him, start watching fighting as he gets older and starts really understanding what it is, or are you gonna wait till he's like,
Oh yeah.
12 or
I would
whatever the age is that people find acceptable?
I would love for him to come out with me and
What do you
watch
get a
me
text
fight.
message?
Yeah.
All of our listeners are
Yeah.
used to that noise. We know that fighters are busy. Was that your girl blowing you up?
No. My son's mom.
Oh, all right.
Because I have him at the gym with me now, so he's wondering when I'm bringing them back.
Is he next to you right now?
No, he's actually inside the gym playing around. I'm like in my car where it's quiet.
So what are you doing with your coaches? Like what kind of techniques are you using to like cut weight to get ready?
Um, I kind of I kind of watch what I eat. I uh I watch what I eat. I water load. I uh I just been really smart about it. I had a guy who watched me watched everything that I ate, told me what I could eat, told me what I couldn't eat, told me how much should be drinking, told me when I should start cutting back. He worked with me really a lot on it. Now to the point where I don't even need him no more.
That's awesome.
Two little Spencer solo weight cuts, and he's a guy. He's legit.
Because that's a big problem with a lot of fighters, missing weight. Even these big name fighters, it's a crazy thing. So I always like to ask the fighters, what they're doing to prepare, especially for my listeners out there that listen for diet instructions and stuff like that. So what are some of the foods that you've been eating recently?
What you said? What are some of the foods I can't eat recently?
No, what are some of the foods that you've been eating? What are some of the meals that you prepare for yourself? For my listeners out there that like hearing the diet stuff.
Um, Believe it or not, you can't go wrong with steak.
I love that.
Uh,
I'm down with that diet. I can do that diet.
yeah, yeah. Steak, grilled chicken, not fried or anything like that. Nothing too greasy. Um, Also like steamed rice, your vegetables, your fruits. I actually like asparagus a lot. Um, Fish, it's like all the really healthy stuff, just none of the bad stuff. None of anything fast food, don't touch.
Yeah,
Some you have to prep and cook yourself, or go to a restaurant and they cook it, like legitly cook it, and not just throw it in the microwave and warm it up. It's good for you.
because a lot of the food that's around now is contaminated anyways. As a fighter, you got to know everything that you're eating. You got to be really careful about it. That's why I like asking fighters, what they've been doing. So as we get towards the end of this interview, one of the last things I got to ask you really quick, of course, UFC 207 just passed, Ronda Rousey getting defeated, and then Cody No Love getting the win over Dominic Cruz. What did you think about those two performances?
The Ronda Rousey fight, I was kind of blown away.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of hers, and I expected her to come out and get her belt back. But when I saw her walk out with that guy, that coach, man, I
Edmund.
just
Yeah,
it was it's like fuck.
yep,
But
and
yeah, it was crazy. Then the Dominic Cruz one, that one was actually pretty good. I was watching the fights and with some of my friends, and they're like, "Who's that kid that guy's walking out with?" And I was like, "Oh, that kid has cancer."
yeah.
And yeah, he gets to walk out with him and stuff, and for his fights. And he was like, "Oh, I got so much more respect for that guy now."
Little Maddox is what he's talking about right now, guys. And that was a special moment when he was in the octagon. He won the belt, and then he was like, I've been waiting for this moment to give this to Maddox. And he puts the belt around him. And that was a special moment, man. I got the chills. I lost my stepfather to brain cancer last year. I literally shed a tear. And it was another magical moment of 2016 in MMA. And what a crazy way to end it. So, as we get ready for 2017, we can't wait for your fight coming up. Shamrock FC, Titan FC's coming up, Valor fight's coming up. There's a bunch of cards in the mix. BJ Penn fight in this weekend. It's going to be amazing to start off 2017, man. So what I like to do at this point is hand the imaginary microphone over to you if you have any shout outs. Your social media tags we already got to, but if you want to quickly repeat it for everybody. And lastly, of course, what we can expect from you when we see you walking in that cage and that cage door is shut.
All right. I like to give shouts out to my main guy, Robert Carver, my fight manager. Without him, he's helped me come a long way. He's kept me in the right direction. I like to give a shout out to Caveman Crew, like my head coach, Rudy Bears. I like to give a shout out to Adrenaline. Those guys have helped me out there in Canada. Um, they showed me a lot. I like to give a shout out to Kelly Batuska, my chiropractor, because from about a month ago, my lower back was kind of messed up, and I wouldn't be able to fight without him. It's like when you can't bend over and touch your toes, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he fixed my issue. He's got me back to 100%. I like to give a special thanks, shout out to him. Also a special shout out to T. Will Spencer, Solo Weight Cuts, Paradise Health Food Store. Um, all you got to do is listen to him, and he'll guide you the proper way to make that cut. Without fearing the scale. You don't have to fear the scale when you're listening to him. Just got to do the do. And you expect to see fireworks. This fight's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be epic. I'm always entertaining. When I walk out from the walkout, you'll see what's about to happen, what's about to go down. I'm serious. It's the real deal. I don't hold back, and I have no remorse. I'm out for blood, as my opponent's out for blood also. So expect for big moves to happen. Expect for fireworks.
And it's all going down January 14th for Shamrock FC 282.